So I fully intended on this week's video finishing up this thing and having it where we could make some heat over in the new shop, but it's like almost 60 degrees outside. And I looked at the 10-day forecast and it is going to be pretty close to that for the rest of the 10-day forecast. So I don't know if we're even going to need this thing this year. It might end up being 12 months from now before we need it, or at least 10 or 11. So instead of messing with that, we're going to take advantage of this nice weather. We're going to go get the C50 out from the farm, drag that thing to town, and see if we can't get the cab off of it. Well, we made it out here to get the truck. It's still beautiful out. Can't believe this weather. We've got to get this thing turned around though, and I don't think the wrecker will actually pick it up. It may pick it up. I'm not going to say it won't, but the problem will be is I've only got a cable on this thing, so if I do, it'll mess up the front of it. You know, the cable will scratch the grill and everything all through there, so we don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and try to drag this thing down around the corner a little bit and flip it around, and then I'll show you how we're going to hook it up to get it to town. So one of the main reasons why I didn't want to use this truck here on the farm is the fact that the brakes are bad on it, which is usually the case on all these big trucks. So since we don't have any brakes, and I can't pick the thing up with the wrecker, we're going to put this piece of square tubing in between the wrecker and the C50. Now, pull the chain tight through the other end. Okay. Do this. All right, lift that up. Now grab the cable and hook it right down here. That'll work. Okay, so I explained to you guys what we did here. Since we got the chain through the square tubing, we've got the cable for the winch hooked onto the chain, and we've got that tied off to this mount right here on the back of the truck. This is a piece of like 1.5 inch by 3 inch solid stock that this piece is hooked to, and it's welded into this piece, which is welded into the 1/2 inch plate on the bed and the channel iron, and all that's welded into the chassis, plus the rest of the bed's bolted in with the winch. It's not going anywhere is what I'm getting at, so don't worry that it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all the tension out with the winch, so that'll take it where that's tied up against the truck, and then we can just pull the thing down the road like a trailer basically. The only difference is it's got steering wheels back there, so Connor's going to be doing the steering so that we can make sure it goes straight down the road. It wouldn't be much different than like a tow bar setup really, except for this doesn't have anything to triangulate where the truck's going, so that's why I need Connor to steer it. Well, guys, we made it. No big deal.
Leave it the sunfade orange.
That was kind of the color I was going for in the rendering, but I don't know. We'll see. I've got a couple other ideas for some color. Yeah. Well, you got to drive it. What'd you think?
Sloppy.
Sloppy?
The zero base is fun. But yeah. I don't got much to say, but sloppy.
Not too many rat turds.
Not too many. I was just a little bit there on the floor.
Yeah. I think those are fairly fresh.
Yeah.
I don't think it had any rat turds in it the last time that I drove it. I don't know what's going on here on the seat. I don't know. I think that's like maybe something that was spilled out there or something before. Antifreeze or something.
Probably.
So yeah, we really haven't got a chance to really check out this truck yet. So we got to go ahead and do that real quick. Give you guys kind of a quick walk around of what we got going on here. So, you gonna pop the hood?
Is there a latch on this, or
just right there in the middle. The sun is in a horrible spot right now for us to be videoing. So we got a little small block in there. Nothing too special there. 2-barrel carburetor. It does have a good radiator in this one, so between the two of them we should have a radiator. This one's not real great though, because it's got like a spot there and a spot there has been fixed, and it's ginormous. That radiator is about it's probably like 30 inches square.
yeah,
It's crazy. And Brett at some point painted some shit up there.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't remember that being there. So our steering situation here is coming fairly close to where the other steering's at, but at a completely different angle. So we'll have some stuff there to deal with. Master cylinder is completely different, but overall it's not too bad as far as rust. I mean, most of the time there's rust all through these areas right through here, and they're completely rotted out. This one don't have that. The hood hinges are really bad about breaking on these, and that one does have a crack there, so we will have to weld that one up. I don't know. Oh, this one does too, actually. So we'll have to weld that up, but they're fixable for sure. And a lot of times they have this rust right here, and this one does have that rust right there where they all do. This is kind of corner right there, so we'll probably have to build new panels there from scratch. I don't think anybody even sells a patch panel for that if you wanted to even buy one.
I doubt it. And then finding a donor is probably hard.
Yeah, every donor is going to be about the same way. This one's actually not too bad, really, as far as that rust goes and that fender well. I mean, it's pretty decent. Probably one of the better ones that I've seen. The cab corners and rockers are really in pretty good shape, too. Let me open this back up. We do have a little bit of rust going on right here, right where that pinch weld's at, so I'll have to do something with that. Do you want to go grab us a tape measure so that we can get a measurement on this frame and see what we're going to look like after since we measured that other?
Do that.
Okay. The door panels are metal because it's a 68. I don't know if they did plastic ones on the big trucks in 71 and 2 or not. Another cool thing about this truck is it does have a tack in the dash. Get to where you guys can see it. So we got the speedo, we got the tack, and we got the fuel. So that's pretty cool. Got the old 2-knob radio in it. The horse has probably got to go. And I don't know about this steering wheel. It's got a big rig steering wheel in here. This thing is huge. Doesn't give a guy a lot of room. But up here, another spot where they always rust out real bad, all along through there and up and through here, is actually really nice in this truck. So pretty happy with that. And we've got a good dash pad in here too. although it's maroon, so I don't know about the maroon part. So we'll go around and check the other side, see what it looks like over here. Yeah, our cab corners over here are still really good. Rocker's good. I don't know why both of these buttons are gone, but you can still open the door kind of. There we go. This side does still at least have the little kick plate or sill plate or whatever you want to call it down there, and the floor still. The glove box door, or the glove box stuff, is all gone out of it. So that kind of sucks. It's all fell out onto the floor. And we got some extra levers and stuff here that we're not going to end up using, so we'll have to probably do a little bit of patching on the floor, but overall, not too bad. Even the doors, got the bottom of the doors. So yeah, overall, we don't have a whole lot of stuff to deal with as far as rust. It's mostly just a couple little spots, so that won't be too bad at all. You want to get us a measurement on the chassis from the chassis to the ground now?
Chassis to the ground?
Yeah, the bottom of the chassis to the ground. We were at how many inches on that before?
Like, what was it, like 22 or something?
22 or something on the camper, yeah. So
25 and a half, right before it starts to kind of go slope up there.
Okay. I think this chassis is probably close to about the same height as the other one. How far is the step off the ground? 17. 17's might be a little rough. We're gonna have to do a little bit more measuring and everything on all the stuff over at the other frame, make sure the height is the same and where our mounts and stuff are going to end up. But yeah, I don't know about the whole 17 off the ground right now. I mean, we'll just have to do what we can do with what we got, so it just is what it is, I guess. So we'll see how it plays out. Like I said, I was really hoping to have it when it's all the way down be somewhere in the 4 inches or so off the ground, 5 inches maybe off the ground. So that's 10 inches and 10 inches of, or I mean, that's, so 17, is that what you said?
Yeah.
So 17 minus 5 is 12. 12 inches of travel out of an airbag system is a lot. So I don't know. We'll have to see if there's any way we can mount the cab lower or something like that to maybe make this work. All right, we got to move this thing to get it out of the way and get our cab in here. So I figure this is a great opportunity to go ahead and haul this a couple blocks down the street to the car wash and clean it up a little bit. And then when we put it back in here, we might be able to try to see if we can't roll it up underneath the cab and kind of get an idea what this thing's going to look like. I'm going to stick this board across here, and hopefully that keeps our cable off of that condenser. I don't know, probably going to mess it up, but we'll see what happens. Well, that's kind of nice when a plan works out like you planned on it. I think as long as I go slow, we won't have to worry about this thing coming forward and hitting that, so we should be good. washed up and looking pretty good now. And we didn't even crush the AC condenser, so we're doing good. Well, I figured since we've got this thing on the trailer and we're not that far away from the car wash again, then we might as well go ahead and wash this thing off too while we're doing everything. So, swipe this bad boy and get to cleaning. Well, we got back over here to the shop, and now we need to see if the forklift will have enough battery to get this thing off the trailer. There's a bunch of white on the back of the cab that showed up too. Didn't know that was there. Let's see what we got here for battery. It's still on the charger. Plugged it in this morning. These batteries are about toast, but I don't want to buy new ones because we're really close to being able to bring the forklift over here. I hope. All right, I'm gonna grab the tripod because I can't do that one-handed and not mess up the cab. Good. Let the ramps down.
Yep, that's what I was I'm gonna have to hold this while this little arm thing goes by.
Well, too far on your side. Well, I'm going to call yesterday a success. We got the cab off and over here and everything kind of lined up, and it's looking pretty good, I have to say. I don't think this is going to be too big of a deal other than our steering and brake situation. You know, the not important things. But the actual mounting of the cab and stuff is actually going to be pretty good. I think it's going to go on here pretty good. We'll talk more about that in the next video when we're building stuff to be able to put everything to where this mounts on. But I think now we need to actually talk about the budget side of things again, because I told you guys I'll keep you guys updated at the end of every video where we're at sitting on a budget. And I think another thing that might be kind of interesting to do too is to also keep track of time. So a lot of people ask me, you know, how much time I have in like Hookers and Blow or Old Crow and different things. And I have a pretty good idea, but I didn't keep track of it to the hour. So I think it might be kind of interesting just to see exactly where we're at with time on this one when we're all said and done. So let's just cover the time thing right now. As it sits today, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. So as it sits today, I am sitting here with, between me and Connor, and also Corey helping out now some too. I believe that we're sitting right around 28 hours, man hours total so far to get it to this point. So since we're using the donor chassis and all that kind of stuff, you know, with the motor and stuff already in it, that's really not bad in time frame. So I'm pretty happy with that too. Now, as far as budget wise goes, there's a little bit of a story with this truck, and I guess I should tell you guys that, and you guys can tell me whether or not you think I'm right or wrong, or if you think I need to be at a different spot on the budget. But I'll tell you where I feel like I'm at on the budget. And I guess I should tell you the story to begin with. So I bought the truck from a friend of mine, Marco, who did some pipeline welding, and then when he wasn't doing pipeline welding, they were doing roofing. And the truck here, the dump truck, was used for doing his roofing jobs. He has decided now to move to Mexico. Most of his family and stuff is in Mexico. He was actually born in America and has lived a lot of his life here, but with his parents getting older and whatnot, he moved to Mexico. So he could be around friends and family and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. So anyways, he was selling off the truck. The brakes were in bad shape on the truck. He said you had to fill them up every time, and then you have to pump them like 4 or 5 times before you get it to really stop, and you don't want to drive over like 20 miles an hour with the truck. So he was planning on just junking the truck, just selling it for scrap. So I bought it from him for 500 bucks. And then my thought with it originally was I was going to use it around the farm to do some things. So I went ahead and tried to fix the brakes, and I didn't say try, I did fix the brakes. I fixed the booster that's underneath there, big booster alongside the frame. I'll show you a picture of it. After getting the brakes fixed, went ahead and thought I'd do some, you know, basic maintenance stuff, oil change, plugs, wires, yada, yada, yada. And I decided to go ahead and put a electronic ignition in it because it had the old point style in there. And I thought, well, sure shit, I get it out there and get it to where I'm ready to use it, and then I'll have to mess with points and all that. So throw an HEI in there, I'll be good to go, right? I should be good at this point to run it forever. The truck actually only had like 43,000 or 41,000, something like that, miles on it. So pretty low mile deal. And went ahead and did that and fired it up, drove it, started heading to town, made it about a mile and blew the motor up. Little did I know that there is actually 2 different distributors for regular GM small blocks. And I knew obviously that, you know, the tall deck 427 has a longer distributor because it's a tall deck. So I knew that one, but I did not know that the old grain trucks or industrial, commercial, whatever you want to call them, motors actually had a different drive down there on the oil pump. So I dropped an HEI in there that I just had laying around that was out of whatever ordinary small block, and it didn't engage in the oil pump, and it did not give the motor any oil, and like I said, it made it about a mile. That's about all it made it, and it just locked up tight, which made me sick because, you know, those motors that are in those originally have, you know, like steel crank in them and some goodies in there, you know. So I trashed a really nice, fairly low mile 350 because I was ignorant on that particular thing. So something for you guys to keep in mind. I don't know a lot of people that know that unless you've worked on a lot of those big trucks. So anyways, had to end up putting a motor in it after that. Went out to Piper's Auto Salvage, my go-to place, you guys know. And they hooked me up with the motor out there, and I got it in, and went to go actually haul my first load with it at that point, and thought, okay, I'm good now for sure, you know, I should be golden for sure. So I get out there to haul a load with it, and I come from, you know, a lot of years of working in the salvage yard and my family having salvage yards and being around like the Pipers and whatnot. We put 5 ton on a 1 ton truck pretty regularly. I mean, it's not unheard of in any way, shape, or form to do that in the salvage world. So I figured we got like 1.5 tons 2-ton truck, whatever it is, that ought to be able to put like 8-ton on there and be fine. I'm thinking that maxed out was probably like 10-ton or something, right? Well, I went and got 8-ton of rock, put on there, went to go haul it out to the farm, put it on my driveway, and yeah, that was probably one of the scariest things that I've ever drove. The brakes still sucked with that much weight on there, like next to nothing. The steering was like over half turn back and forth, and on a dirt road, that's horrible. And the truck barely had enough power to probably get up to about 25 miles an hour or so. I mean, the transmissions in those things are geared wrong, and I put a 305 in it because that's what they had out there, and the 305 was underpowered for that by a long ways. So long story short, yeah, that sucked really bad, and I parked the truck for a couple weeks and went out to go get it again after a couple weeks, and was thinking I'd haul a little bit smaller load and try to get some more stuff done. And the wheel cylinder blew out, of course, because that's what they do. And so went ahead and tore it apart, put a wheel cylinder in it, and did all of that, and then hauled a load that was only like 4-ton, and I was able to maybe get about 30 miles an hour out of it then, before I felt like I was going to die. So I decided after that that probably was just done. You know, the steering's trashed and the brakes were horrible and all that. So I left it sitting there at the farm for another month or two, and then went out to go get it, and was thinking that I would maybe bring it to town and put it up on the lot and just sell it, you know, try to get my money back out of it, right? Or actually should have been able to make a little bit of money, because those trucks running and driving, you know, still bring a little bit more money than what I had in it. So yeah, I went to go get it, and no brakes. They had another wheel cylinder blew out, of course, because that's, again, what they do. You fix one, you fix all of them. The problem with that truck is that it had 4 wheel cylinders just on the back, and I think, I don't know if I had 4 on the front or not, but yeah, and they're very pricey to do. So I was over it at that point and just left it there, and it's been sitting there for a while, just parked, like probably a year or maybe just a little longer or whatever. So anyways, yeah, so we flash forward to now. So now I have put a motor in it, and I've fixed some brakes, and I have bought it for $500. So I'm probably actually in this thing for right around $1,000 at this point. So I don't know how we're going to figure this exactly, but you tell me if you guys think this is fair. The truck came with a running motor, so I'm kind of thinking that, you know, I can say that putting the motor in it was a wash, because that was my being stupid on something that made it blow up. So it actually had a good motor when I bought it for the 500. And if I hadn't fixed brakes and whatnot on there, then I could have had my cab for 500, and the rest of it would have junked out for 500 pretty easily, you know, I mean, with the motor and stuff. But let's just forget about the motor side of things. There's still a good dump bed on it, and there's also still the rest of the weight of the truck for scrap. So I'm sure that I could still probably get my $500 back out of that stuff even. But I think, to be fair on this whole deal, I'm just gonna call it that I'm in it for $500. Now, the rules say that we can sell parts and pieces back off of it to try to go ahead and recoup our money, but I feel like I'm okay at this point. I don't feel like we have to worry about the budget side of things too much. So I'm gonna stick with the $500 that I paid for it originally as being my cost of the cab, the sheet metal, all the orange stuff. So I'm actually gonna be in it for less than that, I think, because I'll be able to get my money back out of the motor, and like I said, I'll be able to, you know, probably be less than, I'll probably be actually maybe even a little bit of ahead by the time it's all said and done. I could actually be quite a bit ahead if I wanted to go ahead and cut the chassis down and turn it into a trailer, because those are a pretty popular thing in our area for hauling grain and whatnot, because you can pull it behind you know, the new diesels or whatever, you know, and actually drive 50 miles an hour down the road and still be able to dump and haul the same amount of weight. So I might end up doing that or whatever, I'm not sure, but I think it'd be fair to just go ahead and still say that I'm in it for $500. And and that puts our budget now at $705. So that's where we're at now on the budget side of things, I guess, today. Also, real quick before we go, I want to tell you guys that we will be at Tulsa, Oklahoma this coming up weekend for the Daryl Starbird show. We're taking hookers and blow down there. This is our third attempt to try to take that truck to that show, and it is yet to make it, but I'm thinking that we'll make it this time. So yeah, look for us down there. I will probably go ahead and make you guys a video. We'll see if we can't do a better car show video than the one that we did for the little car show that was over in Wichita here a few weeks ago that nobody liked. So yeah, I'm going to take a whole different approach to that again. I'm bound and determined to figure out how to shoot a car show in a way that I like and that you guys like and can find interesting to see. So we're going to do that again. I'm going to take a bunch of your guys' suggestions from the last video that I did, and we're gonna, like I said, go for a different approach. So be looking for that coming up probably next week, and then after that we'll be you know, back to work probably on this thing. Try to get the cab mounted up next and all of that. So appreciate you guys watching, and welcome to all the new subscribers. We got a bunch of new subscribers here in the last you know, few weeks or whatever. So glad to have you guys. And I guess for now that's about all that's all I got for you guys. So I will talk to you guys on the next one. See ya.